Ready for the next discourse? It's called Fear and Dread. Someone asked the Buddha, were they not fearful when they went into seclusion in the forest? Now this fear represents everything, all the elements of the world, all the people that you might fear or dread. And here is how the Buddha responded. First, he moved on from the subject of fear and dread quite quickly, just saying a few things about it. That with a concentrated mind, you can leave fear and dread behind. By sitting with it, you dissolve it. You become okay with it. It's a metaphor for the entire troubles of the world. Peace is within us. So this fear and dread is imagined by your mind. If you observe it, you can dissolve it. He went on to point out a few more things in this talk after being asked that question. He went on to give some instructions for what to contemplate when sitting in seclusion. Contemplate this. Contemplate this. Am I courteous or am I uncourteous? Is my mind filled with ill will and hate, or is my mind filled with loving kindness? Am I overcome with an unpeaceful mind, an agitated mind, a restless mind, or do I have a peaceful mind? Is my mind uncertain and doubting, or have I gone beyond uncertainty and doubt? Am I full of self-praise and disparaging of others, or am I not full of self-praise? And am I not disparaging of others? Subject to alarm and terror, am I free from trepidation? Am I lazy and sluggish? Or am I full of energy? Am I unmindful and not fully aware? Or am I established in mindfulness? Am I unconcentrated and with a straying mind? Or am I possessed with concentration? Later on in the discourse, the Buddha comes back to the subject of fear and dread and explains how, while sitting in solitude in the forest, noises might happen, sounds might happen, wind might blow, and the feeling of fear and dread might come upon him. But practicing to just observe that while sitting there and not changing his posture or reacting to the fear and dread repetitively, again and again. And I think it's this repetitiveness of practice that makes these things stick. You can't just expect to think, oh, I'm free of fear and dread, and it to happen. You have to experience it and let it go. So that's the discourse on fear and dread. It's really broken down into a much shorter version. The Buddha spoke very repetitively in his teachings, and it's quite laborious to go through. But I feel like he really wanted to drum in to your mind the importance of repetitive practice. So keep meditating daily, and you will reap the rewards. Keep sitting with fear and dread, and the more you sit with it, the more it will dissolve until it completely fades away. I hope this has given you some idea of what Buddhism and the Buddha's teachings is all about. I'm deliberately trying to keep it as simple as possible, to give a broad idea of the entire teaching that is in this book. I'm going to read a little passage from the discourse on fear and dread. It can be quite inspiring, insightful into what was happening with the Buddha when he was learning. And when my concentrated mind was purified, bright, unblemished, rid of imperfections, malleable, wieldy, steady, and attained to imperturbability, I directed it to the knowledge of the destruction of the taints. I directly knew as it actually is. This is suffering. I directly knew it as it actually is. This is the origin of suffering. I directly knew it as it actually is. This is the way leading to the cessation of suffering. I directly knew it as it actually is. These are the taints. I directly knew it as it actually is. This is the origin of the taints. I directly knew it as it actually is. This is the direction leading to the cessation of the taints. This is one of the reasons I love the Buddha's teaching so much, because it really asks you to experience what it is teaching before you believe it. Don't blindly believe that this can make your life better, but actually experience it. Thank you very much for joining me again. I hope you liked this video, and slowly we're starting to get into the book, and I look forward to recording the next one. Peace and love.